Today we're going to learn a tune called Dry and Dusty. It's a beginning fiddle tune, so if you're in the first book of Suzuki or the first book of the American Fiddle Method, this lesson should feel pretty comfortable. Should be at about the right pace. I'm going to be teaching the tune by ear, going through it phrase by phrase slowly with lots of review. And I'm also going to be providing on-screen sheet music so that if you prefer to read as you learn the tune, you have that option. If you'd like the complete sheet music along with lesson notes and a practice track, just click on the link in the description and I'll send that on over. If you have any questions or would like to set up a lesson, either online or in person, you can find me at ericonfiddle.com. That's ERIC on fiddle.com. And that's all I've got for today. Okay, let's start with our pickup notes. We have two notes on the A string, from an open A to A1, both eighth notes. First one's going to be on a down bow. It's going to be kind of short, semi-choppy notes. And they're going to lead us right into the melody of Dry and Dusty. So O1, and now 3, A3, again. Now we're going to cross over to the E string, open E, back to the A, 3, back to the E. So we got a bit of string crossing here in our first measure. Let's just practice coming into the first three notes of the melody, those first three quarter notes with our pickup notes at the beginning. So O, 1, 3, 3, E. And we'll stop there and we'll talk about what comes next. So together. One more time together. O, 1, 3, 3, E. Now you'll notice I'm keeping my third finger down on the A string for at least half of this measure. No, actually for the whole measure now that I think about it. Because we're going to be coming back to that note, that D with the third finger on the A. We're going to be coming back to it a lot. So sometimes you can save yourself a little bit of time and effort by just leaving the finger down. So keep the third finger down. So really the only adjustment we have to make that string crossing work is with the bow. Let's just try the first measure together. We'll skip the pickup notes for now and practice keeping that third finger down. So we have on a down bow, 3, 3, E, 3, E. Let's practice that together. One more time, together. Good. Now let's incorporate the pickup notes into that too. So we're going to be starting on a down bow, open A to A1. 3, E, 3, E. Now that brings us to our second measure. We're back to the E string, E1, quarter note. This gets one beat. So then do an A3. A1. So we'll just practice that a little bit together. So we have E1, A3, A1. Let's practice it together. E1, A3, A1. And then we finish up that measure with another A to A1, like we had in the pickup notes. So altogether that measure is E1, A3, A1, A, A1. Now let's practice that together. One more time. Let's move on to the next measure. We'll do a couple more measures and then we'll review everything we've done up to that point. And if you feel like you haven't quite, you don't have the section I've just taught completely to a point where you're comfortable with it, don't worry about that. We'll have plenty of time to review as we go along. So measure 3, another A3, again, open E, And hey, sounds kind of familiar, right? We have that section where we're going to keep our third finger down and just switch strings with our bow. It's a repeat of the first measure. So let's do that together. A3, A3, E3, E. Together. Again, keep that third finger down, starting on a down bow. And that brings us to the last measure of the line. We start with an E1, and then we go to an E3. And that E3 is a half note, so that gets 2 beats. 1, 2, 3. Let's do that together on a down bow. Again. And then we finish up that measure with that A to A1 combo that we saw in the pickup notes. So let's do that together. A1, sorry, A1. One more time. Let's put it together, back to the beginning of that measure. 1, 3. One more time. One more time. Now let's review everything we've done so far, starting with our pickup notes at the beginning. Let's do it again. Again, starting on a down bow with our pickup notes. And again, remember to keep the third finger down in those passages where we have the string crossing. So, third finger stays down till the end of the measure. Third finger stays down. Just one more time. Let's practice keeping that third finger down. And that brings us to measure 5. Okay, measure 5. This is going to look familiar because it's the first phrase that we saw in measure 1. So we have A3, A3, over to E, back to A, A3, then E. And again, keep that third finger down. Let's practice that again, measure 5. One more time. Now we're going to move on to measure 6. So we have 1, 3 on the E string, and then followed by a dotted quarter. So this is a beat and a half, followed by another E1. It's an eighth note. So it's kind of a stuttery sort of sounding eighth note, dotted quarter note followed by eighth note combo there. Again. Let's practice that together. 1, 3, 1. One more time together. Let's move on to measure 7. Here we have an open E, A3, and then a run of eighth notes. 1, 0, 1, 2, and keep in mind that's a high 2 on the A string. So again, from the beginning of that measure, E, A3, 1, 0, 1, 2. Together, E, 3, 1, time together. Now to measure 8. Here we have an A3 followed by a D. And that D is a half note, 2 beats. 2, 3. And again, the pickup notes that we saw at the beginning. And that's going to send us, you'll notice to the right we have that symbol for repeat. It's going to send us back to the beginning, to the forward repeat, which you'll see right underneath the letter A as you're looking. It's marking the A section at the beginning of the tune. So let's practice that measure together. We have A3, D, A1. Again. Now let's review the second line, starting at measure 5. One more time. Now let's look at the B section. We're going to start with an open A, down to a D2, and again that A1 combination that we see so much of in this tune. 2, 3. So let's do this together. A, D2, A1. Again, A, D2, A1. Let's practice that one more time together. Next measure, measure 10, we have 2 open notes, an A and a D. And again, that A-A1 combo that we see so much of in this tune. So let's practice that together. Open A, open D, pick up notes. That brings us to measure 11. We have an open A, followed by a D2, another one, this is a dotted quarter, and an eighth. So that would sound like this. You can hear that dotted quarter eighth note combination has kind of a skipping, sort of lopsided sound to it. Again. One more time. Measure 12. We have D1, D2, open A to A1. D1, open D, open A to A1. Sorry. Let's play that together. 1, 0, 0, 1. Now let's look at the last measure of that line, measure 13. So that's open A, D2, half notes, we got 2 beats. 2, 3. Same as our pickup notes again. Pick up. Now let's play it together. One more time together. Now let's start from the beginning of that line, measure 9, and play all the way through for review. And that brings us to the end of the line. Again, from the same spot, measure 9. time. And that brings us to the end of the line. Measure 14, last line of the tune. We're going to start off with an open A, an open D, then back to A3, A1. So altogether that would sound like this. And you notice again we have that dotted quarter followed by an eighth note. It's kind of got that skipping, lopsided sound to it. Let's play that together. So A, D, A3, A1. Next measure, A, D2, D1, then open D, D2. So we have A, D2, D1, open, D2. Let's play that together. One more time. One more time. Then last measure we have D1, open D. And that's again a half note, so 2 beats. 1, 2, 3. Followed by those same pickup notes we've been seeing sprinkled throughout this tune. Open A, A1. Now let's just skip ahead and look at that second ending. So instead of going to the pickup notes at the end of the phrase, we're simply going to elongate that phrase. That D1, D, open D phrase. And play it to the end. Or if we're repeating the tune, if we're coming back to the beginning, then we're just going to, we'll actually play the first ending, and that'll send us right back to the beginning. So I'll give you a little sample of how that'll sound, playing from, let's say the last, we'll say the last 2 measures of the tune back to the beginning. I'll show you how that would work. So if I'm repeating the tune, if I'm playing it the last time through and just simply ending it, then I would, of course, skip to the second ending. So let's practice it both ways. Let's practice playing from that point to the end and then repeating, that is going back to the beginning of the tune, to the beginning of measure 1. And then we'll play it again as if, from the same point, as if we're playing the tune for the last time through. So practice first the repeat. One more time. Back to the beginning. Now let's pretend that we're playing it the last time through and just simply ending the tune. Let's do that together. One more time. Now let's play the whole last line, and we'll just assume that we're playing it last time through. So we're going to go to the second ending. So from measure 14 to the second ending. Take 2. So let's review everything we've done in this last line. So we'll take it from measure 14 to the second ending. We'll just play as if we're playing last time through. So. Again. One more time.